Welcome everybody to the Michael Talks Football channel for the UCL recap for match day 4. We're already halfway through the UCL league phase, and I'm looking at La Liga right now and saying, basura. I mean, some of these teams are awful. How are you, Villarreal, losing away to Paphos? Credit to Paphos. Losing away to Paphos, Villarreal? Atletico Club are one thing. Real Madrid, you're losing away to Anfield. That's now back-to-back losses. Barcelona conceding for fun. Oh my God, it's just everybody is scoring against Barcelona. Freaking, what's that team called? Lincoln Red Imps from Gibraltar would score against Barcelona right now. So La Liga is in a bad spot at the moment. And we're going to talk about every single game here, people, today. We're going to talk about Bayern Munich beating PSG. We're going to talk about Juventus getting another point, which is not really going to help them. They need to start collecting 3 points. Arsenal are the most defensively solid team I've seen the last couple of years. Qarabag have 7 points. How many of you predicted that? Definitely not me. That's why people call me the Fraud Talks Football, because Qarabag, I think I predicted them second last or last, have 7 points. It's ridiculous. And we'll talk about Atalanta and Marseille probably had the most toxic affair out of all the teams and all the matches during this match day 4. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, people. If you're watching on replay and if you're in the chat right now, let me know your thoughts. What was your biggest takeaway from match day 4? Was it that La Liga is terrible? Is it that Ajax and Benfica, two historic clubs, are at the bottom? Started from the bottom, now we're here. They're going to end at the bottom, we're here. That is definitely Ajax and Benfica. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for more UCL content, because we're going to do this throughout the season. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you. Everybody's getting active already. Shout out to Jim Boom Boom, Galatasaray. Shout out to the Power of English Route 66. See you. The Premier League is on fire. Big up to Lord, Forza Inter. Big up to Anthony. Well, Anthony, Alberta, Canada, during the World Cup, it sounds cool, but I think there's better places. I mean, shout out to Edmonton. Shout out to Calgary. No, Winnipeg's in Manitoba, Canada. I'm going to go to somewhere else. But thank you for the invite. Thank you for the invite. Big up to Mo. Big up to Zane. Big up to Tendime. How you doing? Big up to Alejandro as well. Big up to Jeff. Jeff, you are. Oh, my God. This guy is saying 6'7" in the Finnish language. That's how dedicated he is, you know. Are we back? About Liverpool, we'll see. Bayern are definitely the best team in the world for me right now. They will easily beat the 25-game unbeaten run of Leverkusen. And I definitely overestimated Chelsea, but I think as the season goes on, they'll get better. We'll talk about that. And Osimhen is the best striker in the world. And we'll talk about that very, very soon. So yeah, hit the like button already if you're in the chat, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as we go through every single game. And the first game we're going to talk about is Arsenal 3-0 over Slavia Praha. I think it's pretty much a predicted result, considering that Slavia competitive. They were pretty good for the first 15 minutes. Arsenal really looked flat, and then they get the penalty. You could say it's a pretty lucky penalty because, I mean, what is the defender supposed to do? Yes, it's an unnatural position. He is like, guys, if the header is from here, right here, the defender was right here. What is he supposed to do? Generally, what is he supposed to do there if you're the defender for Slavia Praha that conceded the penalty? I mean, there was nothing he could have done about it. The Arsenal get the 1-0 lead, and then Mikel Merino. This guy is on absolute smoke. Another two goals. Yildiz who? You need Gabriel Jesus? Get out of here. Kai Havertz who? Mikel Merino. He's just turning into a Cesc Fabregas arc of when Cesc was the false striker for Spain during the 2010s and the early 2010s, excuse me. Mikel Merino is unbelievable at the striker role. I mean, Samu, you know, it's Spain national team. They're talking about, oh, we need a striker. Put Merino up there. Why not? He keeps getting goals in the striker role. And yeah, did Arsenal play well? No, I don't think they played like amazing. And, you know, Slavia definitely found it very, very difficult. I think they got their first shot on target in the 95th minute. That just shows you how well organized Arsenal are. And I don't want to hear people crying about, oh, they're not flashy. They're playing winning football. If you're an Arsenal fan, would you rather see your team win or play attractive football like you did 2-3 seasons ago and lose every single game and don't win any trophies? I would rather play ugly football, get a clean sheet. How many clean sheets is that now in a row for Arsenal? Because it's actually stupid. So the last goal they conceded was in September. Newcastle. Since then, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clean sheets in a row. I didn't know it was this good. 8. Some teams are even lucky if they keep 8 clean sheets in a year. And Arsenal just did that in a row? Nah. It is crazy what Arteta and his side are doing right now. They even brought in Hincapié into the left back position, who, yeah, he had a pretty decent performance. His passing was quite good, I thought, in the first half. But yeah, Slavia Praha, they couldn't really offer much in the game. It was pretty much an easy 3 points for Arsenal, and Arsenal is just going to keep on rolling and rolling. But their biggest test, I think, of this season is coming up match day 5 against, you know who, Bayern Munich. Oh, cannot wait for that, because that's going to be the battle of the Titans right there. Then let's get to Napoli Frankfurt. This just aggravates me. It really does, because Eintracht Frankfurt are defensively terrible. They're terrible defensively. What are they supposed to do defensively? They have no personnel. Tactically, they've been poor this season throughout defensively. So if you're Napoli and you're Antonio Conte, you have one job. Get a goal. Did they create anything spectacular in the game? No, they didn't. They didn't trouble the goalkeeper for Frankfurt, who was kind of like rotating between him and Kevin Trapp at the moment. This is more on Napoli. I mean, obviously, kudos to Eintracht Frankfurt for getting the clean sheet and finally getting a point in this Champions League. But, I mean, you have to look at Antonio Conte and Napoli and saying, there is nothing down that right side. There is nothing down the Politano, Di Lorenzo. I don't want to see Di Lorenzo invert and become another midfielder. No. Try Spinazzola in the right back position, put Gutierrez left back, and start David Neres in the right wing. You have to start, because you look at the lineup here for Napoli. I mean, Elmas was probably their best left winger on the day and the best player. He was great, I thought. Elmas. He was driving with the ball, beating his man on a consistent basis, but nobody else. You know, the big difference between like Rasmus Højlund and Lukaku is Lukaku wants the ball to his feet. He wants to link up the play down the middle. Rasmus Højlund is going to... You saw there was that one action where I think it was Elmas or Scott McSauce. He collected the ball on the left wing. And then you just see Højlund making a run like this. Just a loop. I mean, he was sprinting, didn't get the ball. So those are the sort of differences between Napoli from last season and this season when they're trying to create the chances, is that Højlund is not going to be a vocal point. He'll just run in behind and be a presence in the box. Whereas you can play into a Lukaku who can combine the play. So Napoli are finding it very difficult to, beat a low block this season. And is that down to maybe Lukaku not being there? Possibly. But also, there's nothing with this right wing. There's nothing with Politano and Di Lorenzo. It's poor overall. So Napoli, I mean, just a travesty, an absolute travesty for how good they were last season. For the money they have spent, they are 24th with 4 points. That's not good enough. Yeah, you could say the Man City game was a write-off. You're going away to the Etihad. You're playing against a very good Pep side. Come on. I mean, Antonio Conte just needs to... This guy is the greatest manipulator ever. He's just going to throw away this UCL campaign and focus on the league again. He's going to do it again. I thought maybe I gave it one more chance. I said, you know what? Let's just give Antonio Conte one more chance in Europe to maybe prove his point again. No, he's doing the same old. And it takes too long with the subs as well. I'm really disappointed from Napoli. I think for Eintracht Frankfurt, you got a clean sheet. You got a point. You got 4 points. You're ahead of Napoli right now in the standings. I think it's a really good point for Eintracht Frankfurt, mostly just to keep the clean sheet because they have not been able to do that at all this season. So yeah, poor from Napoli, great from Eintracht Frankfurt. Did they really trouble Milinkovic-Savic? They had some half chances, especially in the second half, but overall, I'm more just disappointed on Napoli. I just cannot take it. I cannot. This is not acceptable. One of the Italian media have to just have the Gegenpressing on Antonio Conte and saying, answer for your sins. Why is this consistently happening to you? You are one of the GOAT league managers I have seen. Why are you so poor in Europe? Why? This is inexcusable in my part. This is inexcusable. But yeah, let's see what happens in the next match day. Arsenal getting clean sheet against Bayern. Don't know if they will win it because Bayern are also good defensively. I just don't see Arsenal conceding in that game. Missing KDB. Nah, I wouldn't say really missing KDB. I honestly think Napoli are missing more Lukaku. I think they're just missing that sort of vocal point because Lorenzo Luca is just trash. He cannot do anything on the field. Højlund is a good sort of counter-attacking player, which we always have known about Rasmus Højlund, but he's just not going to be able to defeat a low block. So they need a Lukaku. I think he's a big miss. KDB was just a luxury toy that you could add onto it. But Lukaku is a big miss for me. He's out until, I think they said January. I think January, March, somewhere around then. He's going to do it again. Big up Samasi for being a member for 30 months. Shout out to you, Samasi. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. We need to see Conte manage a top 5 UCL favorite like Bayern or Barcelona before we judge him properly. He had Juventus. He was at Chelsea. He was at Chelsea after they won the league. He was there. You know how many times he's gone to the quarterfinals, people? Just give me one semifinal appearance. He's been to the quarterfinal once. Once, people. Nah, I'm sorry. Yet I can understand your point of view that, yes, he needs to manage a top 5 team. He needs to show something at least. He needs to. I'm not saying Napoli can win the Champions League or make the semifinal. Make the quarterfinal. You have a good team here now, Conte. Use them. It is the kryptonite. Just once. He's only been there once. He's won. Honestly, I'm taking Sorloff over Lorenzo Luca. 100%. 100%. All right. Spurs win 4-0. I didn't really get to watch this game at all. I only just checked like the 2-minute highlights, so I can't say much. All I'm just going to say is FC Copenhagen struggled. It looked like from the highlights to really generate chances. Tottenham, they kind of benefited from the poor goal they gave, the poor defending from FC Copenhagen for the first goal where Brennan Johnson scored. But Mickey van de Ven is that Puskas winner already. If people are saying, oh, look at the opposition. If you do that in any league, at any level, pub level, you go to a Sunday league at Rutger Park, if you score a goal like that, that is insanity. So, incredible goal by Mickey van de Ven to just drive with the ball and just beat, 4 or 5 FC Copenhagen defenders. This guy is going to be such a beast. I really wonder what sort of idea Ronald Koeman has for him when it comes to the World Cup. If he wants to play him as a left back, because obviously his pace, defensively he's good, or does he play at center back? Who knows? But Mickey van de Ven is great. Richarlison, by the way, just how this guy is getting selected for the Seleção, it is just baffling to me. You have a guy like Igor at Brentford, bullying defenders, scoring goals. Richarlison can't do anything. He can't. His confidence is absolutely at the bottom. So don't call him up, Carlo. He missed a penalty. And you could just see the whole crowd go quiet as well, people. When Richarlison missed a penalty, dead silent in the stadium. Absolutely silent. So, yeah, I mean, it's good performance from Tottenham. They get the win. They just need to keep collecting points. I think their next game is away to PSG, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but, yeah, it's not looking good. Center back, yep. It's because they need the pigeon dance, and you can't... Bro, give me some ballers, please. Give me some ballers. All right, then. So, Liverpool beat Real Madrid 1-0. They get some revenge on Trent. Trent's honeymoon return to Anfield. By the way, let's just first get that out of the way. If you're live in the chat right now, do you think it was fair to boo Trent in that game from the Liverpool fans' perspective? Put a 1 if you think it was okay to boo. Put a 2 if you think they're doing too much and just really hating. Just to hate along live in action. Let me know your thoughts. 1, if you agree with the booing. 2, if you disagree. Because, look, it was really tough for Trent. And you could just see that the whole day was like, emotionally, it must have been very difficult for him to handle. And I can imagine. But also, if you're Trent and you're Trent's family, you know what you signed up for. You know what? If you're leaving on a free contract to go to Real Madrid, that many Liverpool players, they've made that transfer to Real Madrid. Trent, he's going to get booed. I'm sorry. He's going to get booed. Would I have done it? Probably not. I don't think Trent did anything egregious, but the fans, they have their hard-earned money. They pay to watch the Liverpool. I think they have a right to boo if they want to. We outsiders can't say anything. Everybody emotionally in that stadium, because it's always emotionally driven, these sort of decisions by fans. Hey, if they want to boo, let them do it. Let them do it. And Trent's cameo in that game, Well, maybe Liverpool fans were happy he left because Trent was awful. But overall, with that game, that's easily Liverpool's best performance of the season. And Real Madrid were awful. I mean, you want to talk about Kylian Mbappe and Vini. What about Dean Huijsen? Dean Huijsen now, 2 games, 2 tough away games this season for Real Madrid. Away to Atleti and away to Liverpool has been atrocity. Now, he's a young center back, and obviously he'll get better and better, mature himself, reading the game better, obviously building out from the back. Dean Huijsen will get a lot better, but he was abysmal against Liverpool. And maybe it was the crowd that affected him, but it's just his passing. I think there was that one sequence in the second half where just a simple pass out wide to Carreras, he kicks it out of bounds. So you want to blame Xabi Alonso, you want to blame the players, go ahead. The one thing I feel like with this Real Madrid team is, yes, they played really well. I watched the Valencia game. They were moving the ball quickly. They were combining the play. Vinny was looking good. Mbappe was looking good. Bellingham was looking good because they play at a tempo. Against Liverpool at Anfield, they wanted to play slow, lethargic. The only guy, I think the only player who can have his head up high, actually 2. 1 is Courtois and 2 is Bellingham. Bellingham, for about the first 60 minutes, was the only one from Real Madrid who understood, we're at Anfield, guys. We have to show some intensity. We have to win the ball back. We have to win every duel. Bellingham was the only player. Everybody else, now, they just thought they were going away to the Vallecas or something like that, and they could just chill. I think from a Madrid fan perspective, you can't go over the top either and say, oh my God, look at Xabi Alonso. This guy is poor. What is he doing? Look at these players. They're all overrated. You know, Real Madrid fans, after one loss, the sky is falling. A meteor is about to hit planet Earth. It's always like that with Real Madrid when they lose one game. But there is some concerning signs there that there is nothing down the right side. I feel bad for Camavinga because people will be like, oh, look at Camavinga. What is he doing out there on the field? That's Xabi Alonso as well, though. Xabi Alonso's telling him, be a touchline, forward and receive the ball. I don't understand that at all, but why don't you just play an Arda Güler out there? Or maybe try Mbappe out on the right wing, bring in a Gonzalo Garcia or Endrick down the middle. Why aren't we trying these things? Why not Rodrigo down the right wing? These are some decisions that Xabi Alonso will hopefully emerge upon this season as they get more familiar with his style of play and what they want to do. Because this Madrid team, they're trying to build a new identity. But in this game, they were outplayed. If it wasn't for, I honestly despise Thibaut Courtois as a Liverpool fan. This guy, him and Ismail Assar, I will have nightmares about them for the rest of my life, remembering the 2020s as Ismail Assar and Courtois always ruining the party. Always. Because again, Courtois turns into Yashin, Neuer, Iker Casillas, all rolled into one against Liverpool. He always does it. I don't understand it, but the dude was unbelievable. If it wasn't Courtois, this game would have been 4-0, people. Am I being nice? 4-0, 5-0. Some of the saves he made on the Van Dijk corner, Ekitike to Szoboszlai in the first half. Incredible saves from Courtois. Him and slightly Bellingham are the only players that can say, hey, I pull my weight here. Where were the rest of you? There's no leaders on this Real Madrid team, by the way. There's no leaders on the field. Who is the true captain of this team? Who? Valverde? Really? Fede? Fede is a good player, but is he a leader? Is he a Toni Kroos? Is he a Modric? Is he a Benzema? No, he isn't. So, yeah, really, really poor from Real Madrid. I think, they lost 1-0, but that doesn't have a true reflection on the game because it was 4-0 all day, every day. And for Liverpool, look, now that's back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets. They just have to keep it going. There's been so much, and rightfully so, a lot of criticism on this team throughout this season because they've been ass. They played terrible. There's no pressing. There was no midfield structure. Defensively, they looked poor. Against Real Madrid, that was an easy game. And they absolutely pressed wonderfully. Sometimes you see Wirtz, engaging in the press. Then it would be Ekitike, Salah. Obviously, it's always going to be Szoboszlai because the Szoboszlai is just a machine out there. But I was really impressed by 1, McAllister. 2, Salah had a really good game. 3, I think Wirtz, one of his best games this season. And yeah, defensively, they look strong. And Connor Bradley, when he sees the 15 UCLs rock up to Anfield, he turns into Cafu. Every single time. Connor Bradley, again, just lockdown defender. And yeah, great performance. McAllister with the only goal. of the game, but it should have been 5-0, 4-0. It was just an ass whooping, if you ask me. Good performance. Just I need Liverpool to just continue this. I'm not going to get over the top and say Liverpool are back. You know, people want to do this after 2 wins or even 1 win. Get the shock face going. They win the game. They're back. They're back, people. No. The only time Liverpool are back is when they win 5 games in a row and Isaac Wirtz and them are all cooking. That's when I'm going to say Liverpool are back. Not right now. You beat Real Madrid. Good. Now, can you go away to Etihad and win a game? That's going to be the true test for this Liverpool team, because we'll talk about Manchester City later. Wow, what a team they are. But yeah, poor from Madrid. Really, really poor performance. I don't know really what to say about that. Madrid have been ass in big games. Yep. Talked to them for a year and a half, ran down his contract, left for free. Yeah, he's always going to do that, isn't he? He's always going to do that. Hoist a stinker. Everyone except for Courtois was bad. She's job you got to fix up in these big games. Yep, I would agree with that. All what was missing was that was all that was missing. We needed that sort of action. He kept on going on about Anfield being just a pitch and that he won't be affected. Well, he was definitely affected, Trent. He was definitely affected. Yeah, you could say you probably need a Nico Pass, but who's going to get benched? Patricio, who's going to get benched? If Nico Pass arrives to the Santiago Bernabeu next season, who's getting benched here? Guler? Bellingham? Camavinga? Because you're going to start Nico Pass. Nico Pass is not coming back to Santiago Bernabeu and just sitting on the bench. No. He wants to return to start. So the big question will be is, who is going to be that guy that's going to take the fault for it? That's going to be a conundrum for Xabi Alonso. I'm scared that this loss is going to make Alonso overthink in big games like he did at Leverkusen, exactly like Xabi Alonso did at Leverkusen, the first game of the Champions League against Bayern Munich in the round of 16. Completely overthought, and they got ass whooped. Absolutely ass whooped. God, I hate those players, man. Those guys are just absolute enemies to me. Carvajal is our captain, but he's out injured. You can see there's no leadership in this team because when something goes bad, Madrid be panicking with their decisions, especially Hoyson. Hoyson, he's a young player. He's a young player. Carrera is still a young player. They look a fish out of water. When the pressure hits this Madrid team specifically, they are faltering. Massively. Now, they're going to go away to Rayo Vallecano next week. Or no, sorry, this Sunday or Saturday, the game. It's going to be tough how they bounce back. That's going to be the true test for them. Were you complaining we? What do you mean by that, Robert? What do you mean by that? Madrid could do good with a player like Moises when Carvajal leaves. They need a leader. You're 100% right. They need just some real not really physicality, but they just need a presence on the team. They don't have a presence. That's, I think, one thing that's missing with Madrid, 100%. Hard to read into the top team's performances at this stage in the UCL. We all know it doesn't really matter. I would agree with that. That's why I'm not going to go over the top about a PSG or Real Madrid are not Champions League favorites or, Chelsea, for example. It's way too early. When we're done with the league phase, everybody last season would have said, oh, PSG, Champions League winners. No. Then it got to those final 2 match days, then you're like, oh no, PSG look good, people. They look good. So we got to wait. It's still November. There's no snow outside here in Finland for me, so I'm not going to go crazy about over and analyzing. When Arsenal got the same penalty against Inter last year. Oh, yeah, the dubious one. Yeah, that wasn't a penalty either. That wasn't. But that's one thing I hate with the handball rule. I just don't think you can do any. What is a defender supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? I think it's just a bogus rule for me. That's nothing on Arsenal, by the way. Please, come on, man. Don't do that. This was the best I've seen Liverpool play for 90 minutes. Yep, agreed. And Liverpool aren't back just yet. No, I don't agree either. All right, Atleti 3-1. I did not get to watch this game either, so I have to just go by the quick highlights I saw. Sorloth actually looked good. I don't say that often, people, because you guys know I'm not a big fan of Sorloth, but he actually looked pretty good off the bench. Gallagher getting a nice goal. I mean, Julian is just a baller, man. Julian, I love. One player that's really going to impress me this season is Giuliano Simeone. I don't think he's the most technical. He's not the most, flashy of players. He is just like his father, man. It's just if you would go into a lab and you would say, please create me a son of Diego Simeone, it would be Giuliano. They're exactly the same sort of player, same sort of tenacity about them. And I think it's a beautiful sight to see, a father like Diego Simeone and just seeing his son balling out there. It's like, wow, it must feel so proud for him. And the assist he gave for Julian as well. And I think Giuliano has been one of Atleti's best players this season, and he's getting better and better and better. He's knowing how to beat his man in one-on-one situations. His delivery is, sometimes spot on, and his decision-making is really improving more and more. He just needs to add some more goals to his game. And Giuliano could be, a solid, kind of like Yannick Carrasco back in the day. Solid player for Atleti, but will never be the main guy. I don't think he wants to be. He knows that they got Julian Alvarez, Alex Baena, and these sort of players. So, yeah, it didn't look like it was overly convincing from Atleti, but they just got the point. I think I did predict 3-1 for this game, so I got spot on. I just want to see more from Alex Baena, and that's why it's going to take time to develop the chemistry of, okay, Alex Baena wants to receive it in these sort of pockets. We got to deliver to him more quickly. But I think that's going to take more and more time as they play with each other, because Alex Baena has missed a huge chunk of the season with injuries. And for Royal Union, I just feel bad for them losing their manager halfway through a Champions League campaign. And now their season is kind of faltering after they had that incredible win on the first match day away to PSV. After that PSV Royal Union game, I was like, PSV are trash. Royal Union could surprise. Flip the switch. Royal Union are trash. And PSV, they're getting better and better. That's just crazy how football can change in about 5 to 6 weeks. It's incredible. So that's why if I say anything reactionary here, people, call me out in 5 to 6 weeks. Please do it. I don't mind it. It doesn't hurt me. But yeah, decent performance from Atleti. They get the win there. Michael, aren't winning anytime soon in Champions League. Xabi goes in big games. They said Liverpool said would lose, and they got cooked. Typical. To be fair, Aslan, I said Real Madrid would win 4-1. Right? And that's coming from a Liverpool fan. It's not that I don't believe in Liverpool or all of this nonsense, but Liverpool were not playing well to warrant saying, hey, you know what? They can beat Real Madrid. Of course, it's Anfield. Of course, it's Liverpool. They got the DNA. They got the history. But, I mean, wow. I was shocked at the way Liverpool played and how bad the Real Madrid were. But don't go over the top and say, yeah, Xabi Alonso goes to big games. It's still early. Let's see what he does. Who do Real Madrid still have to play? I'll have to check that later. Feel bad for Royal Union. I'm confident they're better than Brugge, but they've been screwed by the fixtures and Pognoli leaving to AS Monaco. Yeah, that Pognoli leaving them really derailed their whole entire campaign. Juventus then 1-1 with Sporting. I gotta say, I checked the more extended highlights because I didn't get to watch the game live. I think Juventus actually played quite well, but that's the problem. They played quite well, and they still didn't get the victory. Which is what they need to do right now in the Champions League is collect 3 points. And they simply have not been able to do that throughout this season. What was it? Draw with Villarreal, lost to Real Madrid. And what was the first game? What was Juventus' first game? Oh my God, who did they play? Was it PSV? I cannot remember who was Juventus' first game. Well, I'm going to check that again, people. Because I cannot remember who did they play in their first game at Juventus. Yeah, it was the crazy 4-4 draw with Dortmund. Yeah. Now I remember. So yeah, with Juventus, they're playing better, but is this just, initial sort of bounce back that you always have with a new manager, or are we starting to see some differences? One thing that I'm seeing a difference is Koopmeiners, who's been an atrocity midfielder for Juventus, looks actually pretty decent center back wise. Is that the sort of magic recipe that Spalletti wants to cook up with this team, is playing Koopmeiners as a center back? That is just crazy to me. That is just wild. But yeah, I don't think Juventus played terribly. I don't think they played amazing, but they got to win these games. It's just something in the DNA that has to get into these players, like a Jonathan David, to a Conceição. Get the victory no matter what. You have to just simply do it. Did they miss some chances? Yeah. Jonathan David so far, even though he's been a free signing, has been below average. Really, really below average. I don't understand it whatsoever. Jonathan David is a very good striker, but his time at Juventus so far has been nothing short of abysmal. And from a Sporting perspective, judging by the long extended highlights, they didn't look good either. The only players that looked good were Morton Hillman and Trincao. Those are the only two guys, and the goalkeeper. Those are the only 3 players. Everybody else looked panicky and they didn't know what to do in those situations. Really, really poor performance, I think, from a sporting perspective. But they get another point, which is good. They got at least a point this time compared to the last time they went away to Italy and they didn't get any points away to Naples. So, yeah, I think overall it's quite decent for Sporting considering they didn't look like they played well in the game. And yeah, for Juventus, they got to start picking up some points here. Otherwise, they're not going to make it to the playoffs, which would be shocking in my opinion. Yeah, you can say Juventus don't have a chance of winning the UCL. Agreed. They still need to go far in the UCL. That's not an excuse. You still need to perform if you're Juventus Football Club. This is why this new format is worse than the old one. Before, there would be drama about Juventus qualifying, but in this format, we all know they still be fine. Well, I don't know who they have to play yet still, but judging by the way Juventus have been playing this season, I don't know if they're going to make it to the playoff. I really don't. Then they'll have to go through the playoffs. And again, like last season, what did they do in the playoffs? Oh, yeah, they lost. They lost. So it's going to be tough for Juventus. Olympiacos won, PSV won. Again, I only got to see the extended highlights for this game. PSV didn't look like they played well considering the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks in the Eredivisie and in the Champions League. So for PSV, you didn't play well. You kind of got like a lucky bounce to get that goal with Ricardo Pepi. Wonderful volley by him. For Olympiacos, this was a missed opportunity for Olympiacos because they created all the chances. Martins, by the way, what a goal. That goal he had just absolutely roofed it into the top of the net. It was stunning by him. So for Olympiacos, this is a game where you have the chances. You have to bounce back after losing to Barcelona in convincing fashion. And yet, you couldn't do it. You couldn't get the 3 points. This was really the golden opportunity here for Olympiacos to get the 3 points. They didn't. And for PSV, they can be like, hey, we are not good at away team in Europe. We'll take the points. So how many points do PSV have right now? I think they got 5. They've gotten a point away to Leverkusen, destroyed Napoli, and away to Olympiacos got a point. They're going away next to Liverpool. That's going to be tough for PSV, but they're not the best defensive team, as we all know. So how do they do away to Anfield? I think they could definitely hurt them with the counter-attacking players of like a Perisic and Dennis Mann and Saibari. Damn, Saibari did not play well either. And he's been cooking the last couple of weeks, Saibari. So yeah, good point for PSV. And it looked like it was a bit more of a missed opportunity here for Olympiacos to really get a victory. This is a game that I rewatched because I didn't get to watch that in real time. Bodo Glimt. These guys, why you guys do this to me? What? How they did not win this game is beyond me. They absolutely, again, Monaco had their chances, of course, like Akoluche in the first half. But I have to look at Bodo Glimt and saying, yes, it's a wonderful story that they got into the Champions League, but I'm expecting better, especially at home. Okay, away from home, you might get destroyed. You might not be familiar with the grounds in certain aspects, but you're at home against the Monaco side with Pognoli only in his, third or fourth match in charge. You got to you have to win this game if you're Bodo Glimt. And they had numerous chances in this game, especially Kasper Høeg. I mean, this guy is really now pissing me off because he's missed so many chances in these and in this league phase, excuse me. I think Jens Petter Hauge is like the only player, and obviously Berg in the midfield. There's like the only 2 players where I'm like, they've been playing well this season for Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. Everybody else, disaster. Disaster. There's no structure. Nobody can convert the chances compared to the Europa League last season or in the qualifiers to get into the Champions League. Bodo Glimt just simply cannot be a consistent home team right now, and that's to their own downfall. Now, credit to AS Monaco because going away to Bodo Glimt is not easy. The fact they get 3 points, they kept a clean sheet. They're missing still a lot of players in their starting lineup. Look at the players that were missing, people. Lamine Camara, Diatta, Eric Dyer, Ansu Fati, Lucas Hradecki, Paul Pogba, Van der Sar, Zakaria. I mean, right there's about 5 to 6 starters that are out injured. And yet Monaco still go away to Bodo Glimt and get the victory. Now, that's down mostly to Kohn, the goalkeeper, really doing well. Yeah, for AS Monaco, they didn't play well. They obviously felt the Arctic turf. They definitely felt the climate kind of not in their favor. But to get the victory, mentality-wise, I think that's a pretty strong thing. And for Bodo Glimt, just really, really disappointing. They should have gotten the victory here, but they didn't. That's their own fault. That's their own fault right there. All right, then PSG Bayern Munich 2-1. I'm not going to talk about it from a Bayern Munich perspective because I did that on yesterday's video. So go check that out on the channel, people. I want to talk a bit more from a PSG's perspective of where it went wrong. Now, speedy recovery to Hakimi. I think they said it's about 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully, it's about 4 weeks because then he would be ready in time for the AFCON. But yeah, the injury looked gruesome. Like I said yesterday, GS is not trying to hurt Hakimi. It was just such an unfortunate sort of tackle. And then the fact that Hakimi's trying to push away and his leg just gets stuck and then his ankle turned horribly. So yeah, speedy recovery to Hakimi. And yeah, PSG are dealing with some injuries. I think Dembele is out, Desiree Doué is out, Hakimi is out. Who's going to play in the right back position? There's a lot of question marks for Luis Enrique. But PSG, I'm not like going to go over the top and saying, yeah, they're going to not do well in the Champions League this season. Because, again, it's like last season. You just need that sort of momentum switch in your season, and everything then just flows into a part. Flowing. So for PSG, they were, absolutely outplayed in that first half. They could do nothing. The passing was abysmal. The movement off the ball was terrible. Nuno Mendes to Marquinhos to Vitinha to everybody was terrible. Kvara, who I love, was not good in the game. Barcola, oh my God, this guy Barcola is such a frustrating player to watch. Because he's got the ability, but his finishing, if you had like a FIFA rating for his finishing, it's about a 30. It's about a 30 for Barcola. It's really frustrating. The only player that looked really good is, of course, Lee Kang-in. The guy, when his delivery is on point, he can put it on a plate for the players like he did to John Neves for PSG's only goal of the game. But yeah, for PSG, they didn't play well. They should have been down 3-4-0 in that first half. They can get lucky that Lucha got the red card. Obviously, Hakimi, just terrible injury. So are you going to go over the top here and saying, PSG, they're dead. They're not going to do anything in the Champions League this season? Or are you going to really judge them maybe in the January games? Like, if they're still playing this terribly, match day 7, match day 8, I would be a little bit concerned then. Because we saw last season when it was match day 7, match day 8, PSG turned up. The football they were playing, scintillating stuff. Dembele was at his full capacity. This season, we still haven't seen the best of Dembele, to Kvara, to, João Neves has been injured. So it's a little bit hard to judge this PSG team at the moment and in time. Let's see how they do when they're fully fit. Let's see how they do when they get the full team back. But yeah, judging by the way they played on Tuesday, terrible. They were so bad in the game, so bad. And I think that's more down to Bayern Munich really having their best half of football for a long time, people. They pressed PSG well. They moved the ball well. The finishing was excellent from Lucho. Really just a fantastic performance from a Bayern Munich perspective. And where would you guys rank them right now for UCL favorites? Are they number 1, 2, 3, top 5? You're still calling them frauds? Where would you rank Bayern Munich amongst the favorites for the UCL? But yeah, what a night for Bayern Munich. And they are the real deal. Qarabag 2, Chelsea 2. Now, I did say this in my predictions that if Chelsea do not play to 50% of their capacity, they will lose this game. And mind you, they were losing this game 2-1. Now, Garnacho saved the day. But Chelsea, they need to sign some center backs and actual quality, certified center backs. Hato needs time. You can't go over the top and say, Hato is a disaster of a signing. He will never turn out to be anything. Hato is a talented player who struggled. There's no partnership right now with this Chelsea team. Colwell is out injured. Fofana is inconsistent because of the injuries he's had. Tosin, he's okay. So Hato doesn't really have like an experienced guy who can lead him. If they had like a Van Dijk, Van Dijk could lead Hato. He could really command him more. Tell him when to press high up the field. Tell him when to release the ball. That's what this Chelsea team needs. because of all the youngsters, there's not enough experience. And yeah, they kind of went with the new players into the lineup. Obviously, Caicedo had to come on, what was the 10th minute into the game because of Lavia's injury. So yeah, for Chelsea, they can be happy they got a point. They didn't play well. Did they create some half chances in the game? Yeah. Decent finish from Esteval. The Garnacho finish, that was a proper finish. That was a proper goal. His first goal for a Chelsea shirt. And yeah, is it a disaster? No, it isn't. I see, some Premier League fans say, oh, look, they drew with Qarabag. I told you this was going to be tough for Chelsea. One, because of the travel, and two, Qarabag are actually a good team this season. They went away to the San Mamés and went toe-to-toe with Atletico. If it wasn't for Yuri having that crazy goal line clearance, they would have gotten a point at the way to the San Mamés. I think what Qarabag have done so far this season, the Champions League, is admirable. And wow, and Medina, this center back, by the way, physical monster, and his ability on the ball is spectacular. To Duran, who's just all over the field for Qarabag. So yeah, for Qarabag, they got 7 points, people. 7. Match day 4. And I think they got to play. Who do Qarabag still have to play? Let's check it out. I really just admire that they're not shy of the moment. They're not like, oh, we're just a nice fairy tale story here. Look at us. No, they understand this is an opportunity for our football to progress more and more. And you have to just say kudos to the club and kudos to the manager for having some cojones about them and just saying, hey, we don't care if this team has spent $2 billion in the last 3 years. Chelsea, who? We're Qarabag. And Qarabag, again, they just, even in the start of the second half, the first 10 minutes, they were on the ascendancy. They wanted to get that third goal. They could have won it in the 92nd minute. I don't remember which player had that half sort of volley chance, but Qarabag really went for this game to win. And that's like one thing you have to just say is kudos to Qarabag. Kudos to Qarabag. So they still got to go away to Napoli. They're hosting Ajax. I mean, that's 3 points right there. They're hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. They're going away to Liverpool. I mean, they're playing Ajax. That's a guaranteed 3 points at this moment in time, which is crazy to say about Ajax, who I'll talk about later. So yeah, for Qarabag, they're in a great position. They're playing really good football. I got to just highlight them more and more because what they have done is admirable. So shout out to them. Again, Medina and Duran. Great performances from me. Great performance from me. Yeah, Chelsea need to sign a young Lukumi or something like that. They got to get a center back. With how Napoli are playing, I won't be surprised if Qarabag gets something next match day. Wouldn't be surprised either. Shout out to Spy. As a Qarabag fan, I've been buzzing this year so much. Shout out to you. Wow. We got a Qarabag fan in the house. Shout out to you, Spy. You've been a long-time subscriber. I never knew you were a Qarabag fan. So shout out. But yeah, 7 points. They just get one more victory. Qarabag are in the playoffs. Craziness, man. Craziness. Before Qarabag's first goal, that one guy dribbling 3 Chelsea players was crazy. Yeah, was it Adai who was trying to dribble all the players? It might have been Adai. I think it was Adai, if memory serves me right. Shout out to you. Camilo Duran, Colombian as well. I hope he gets to move to a better league. Are you going to recap the Champions League confederations? Are you talking about like how all the leagues are doing in the Champions League, or are you talking about the Conference League and the Europa League? Let me know, Brandon. Let me know. So yeah, shout out to Qarabag. And shout out to Paphos, their first ever UCL victory. What? What's going on here? I'll get to Villarreal in a second. I didn't get to watch this game. I only really saw Qarabag and Chelsea while I was doing other stuff in the house. It didn't look like Paphos could really create anything. And I think that's something I highlighted as well in the predictions is that they're not really a creative team, but defensively they're solid. They went away to Kairat 0-0. They went away to Olympiacos 0-0. They got a clean sheet here. That's 3 clean sheets in 4 games for Paphos. And they got the 1 goal from a set piece. And that's all they needed to create history for their club and collect their first ever UCL victory. So what a moment for Paphos. I mean, I didn't think they were going to do much either, similar to Qarabag in this Champions League season, but exceeding expectations this season are both of these teams. Exceeding expectations. And to beat Villarreal. Villarreal are a consistently good side in La Liga. And the way Villarreal have played in the UCL is abysmal. And they should be ashamed of losing this game. This is the one game it is a must win. If you lose to a Tottenham, if you lose to a Juventus, if you lose to Man City, it's okay, Villarreal, fine. Just be competitive. The fact you lost to Paphos, I mean, despicable from Villarreal. Despicable. They had chances in the game. They tried to bring the cavalry on in the second half. Nothing worked. They couldn't get the chance. It just so much epitomizes the game for Villarreal. I think it was like Pepe, 93rd minute, 92nd minute, just takes a stupid shot. Find the open man. Find the cross. Why are you trying to be a hero ball there, Nicolas Pepe? Stupid from him, but Villarreal, you cannot be doing this. You cannot be hurting the image of La Liga this way. Losing away to Paphos, they should be getting absolutely grilled by the Spanish media because I don't speak fluent Spanish, but it's just terrible, man. Terrible. So yeah, kudos to Paphos. They just look defensively somewhat solid. Were they fortunate sometimes with Villarreal's poor finishing? Yeah, but hey, that's not Paphos' problem. That's Villarreal's problem. And Paphos will just collect 3 points. Where are you ranking Victor Osimhen now in best strikers in the world, people? I'm not saying best. I'm not saying second best. I'm actually third best. No, I'm not going to have him third best. I think he's now fifth best striker in the world, people. I will always defend Victor Osimhen. And I've said this the last couple of years. People wanted to ridicule the guy after the AFCON. People wanted to ridicule the way he left Napoli, which, yeah, it was unfortunate, divorce between Napoli and Victor Osimhen because of the things Victor Osimhen did. But I'm so happy he went to Galatasaray because he's at a club. The fans love him. He loves the city. He loves the football he's playing right now. When he's healthy, my God, this guy is such a beast. His pressing, his relentlessness to just keep on going and going and going again and again and again and again. The guy is hungry for goals. This guy is hungry for success. He wants to win. And that's the best thing. And that's sort of, I think, a player that Galatasaray needed for the last couple of years is we need winners. They tried to go with Icardi. Cool. Icardi is a good player, right? But Icardi is not going to fight. Galatasaray need fighters like a Victor Osimhen in their team, and now they got it. Mixed in with quality like Single. This is one game I watched yesterday. Single. He's sometimes a little bit rash with his challenges, but I love Single. I think he's a absolutely wonderful pickup. And mind you, I think they paid 35 million Galatasaray for Single. I think that's a bargain for me. He's such a good right back and defender and somebody who can drive with the ball and has 5-star skills as well. And yeah, did Galatasaray deserve this victory? 100%, because Ajax are just so... it pains me to say this because I really like the club. I really like Ajax. Trust me, I don't want to ridicule them or, say horrible things, but this is the worst Ajax I've ever seen quality-wise. The worst performing Ajax was about 2-3 seasons ago when, the Stein and everything was going on here. This Ajax team, quality-wise, are simply abysmal. You can sack Heitinga. Yeah, is Heitinga not the right manager? Yeah, go ahead. Live in that delusional world. Yes, Heitinga's not good enough. But please, don't stop there. You need a total reboot. Just go with some 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. Because these players are not good enough. Who from this Ajax team would you keep? If you're an Ajax fan, who from this team would you keep? Mokio? Maybe Glauc? Maybe Sutolo? That's it. I'm not keeping Pasver. I'm not keeping Guy, Klaassen. I'm not keeping these players because they're not Ajax quality. They're maybe Utrecht quality. Heck, maybe Go Ahead Eagles have better players at this moment in time. AZ Alkmaar are producing better players from their academy than Ajax right now. So there lies your problem if you're Ajax. You're not producing quality players from your academy. They're not bringing them into a right structure. That's why I said Farioli did a magical season last year. What? Yes, they bolted it at the end. I get it. Oh, Farioli, Butler, who cares? Farioli found the balance, and now look at this. Look at this. Look at this mess that is Ajax right now. They got outplayed by Galatasaray. And like I said in the prediction video, Galatasaray are not a good away team in Europe in the last couple of years. Galatasaray rocked up, got 3 goals, hat-trick by Osimhen, dunked on you, and took it back to Istanbul. And it could have been worse if Salah just had proper crossing in his game. That's it. Even Leroy Sané had a good game. Even Leroy Sané. Not good enough from Ajax. And for Galatasaray, I'm not going to say they're like dark horses for this Champions League winning it. No, of course not. I'm just saying, making it to a quarterfinal or maybe even a semifinal. But they are a team. As long as they have Victor Osimhen and they still have quality defenders like a Bardaki, like a Sanchez, like a Cinco. The goalkeeper, he had that one sequence yesterday where I was like, what are you doing, Sakir? Why are you going off your line like that? But other than that, he was pretty okay. As long as they have Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray can do something this season because he's that guy. He will do anything to help Galatasaray win. And now Victor Osimhen has about, 6 goals in his last 3 Champions League games. 1 against Liverpool, 2 against Bodo, and dropped a hat-trick yesterday. Yeah, of course, there were 2 penalties. He's getting the goals. That's what you need from your striker. As a right back, what did right back say? Feed me more. Feed me more. There we go. Feed me more. Feed me more. Because that's Victor Osimhen right now. He wants to eat. He wants to keep getting those goals. And I don't know how far Galatasaray can go in this Champions League season. Let me just quickly look at their schedule. Home to Rayon, that could be a victory. Monaco, that's going to be a good game. Oh, I cannot wait. Galatasaray versus Atleti, and then Galatasaray going away to Manchester City. That's a good test for Galatasaray to really see what level they are at and how far they can go in the Champions League this season. But finally, a Galatasaray team that are performing and look like a mature team compared to the previous Galatasaray teams that I've seen in the past 5 to 8 seasons. They actually look like a mature side and know what they're doing. So kudos to them. Kudos to them. Yeah, he was good. Yeah. Davinson Sanchez was pretty good yesterday. RIP Ajax, big up to Kurt. I remember when Ajax were one of the best teams in Europe. Can't believe how far they've fallen. So what happens when you keep selling your talent and your academy does not produce good enough players? Well, Man City, they have one of their academy talents balling out in Phil Foden. Those 2 goals he scored. That first goal he scored, by the way, magnifique. Magnifique. Now, you could blame Dortmund and saying, why are you giving him so much space? But great finish from Foden. Man City, the first 65 minutes, and after Dortmund brought on all the subs in the 66th minute. Man City, that first 65 minutes, scary hours, people. Scary hours. They were so good. The balance of like a Foden and a Reinders and Nico Gonzalez, who's been playing really well lately. Of course, when you have the best striker in the world, keep feeding him. Keep feeding him. Haaland is just so good, man. It's just so crazy how good Haaland is. And yeah, Doku had his best game. I think it was a really, really good performance from Manchester City. And they're trying to find that sort of attacking balance of, okay, we can be the tiki-taka team. We can be the direct team. We can hurt you down the wings. That's really a hallmark of Pep Guardiola trying to evolve this Manchester City team into a more dangerous team. Off the ball, with the ball, I think I would be very scared. Now, defensively, are they still the strongest? No. They have a great goalkeeper, though, Donnarumma, who sweeper keeper. Remember, people, he can't get off his line. I think there was that one action. I don't know which Manchester City player gave it to Donnarumma. It might have been Nunes. Wow. Donnarumma coming quickly off his line to deal with the situation. So, yeah, it got a little bit nervous maybe the last 20 minutes, but then when Cherki came on, he got the goal. It was done and dusted. I think for Dortmund, like Niko Kovac just has to be more brave. He has to be more brave with his starting 11, tactically how he wants to take the game to the opponents because Dortmund have some good players. I mean, Anton, I don't really know what Anton brings to this team. Give a chance to Anselmino. Why give him a chance? Because Anton, it just doesn't seem like he can progress with the ball. He can't really pass. Doesn't really have pace. He's just another Emre Can out there. So Dortmund need to just be more brave, and Niko Kovac just needs to do better with his line. Dortmund are just going through the motion this season. They got a good attack with obviously Adeyemi and Girassi. They have a decent midfield. I feel like Emecha has had a pretty good season, but they need to find a partner next to Emecha and just a third attacker. And yeah, Dortmund have a solid team, but Man City, they keep playing like that. They'll beat Liverpool this weekend. They'll beat them 3-1, 2-1. With the form Haaland is in, with the way Foden is now finding his form again, you could bring on a Cherki. Scary, man. Scary. So, yeah, really good performance from Manchester City. I don't think Dortmund can have any complaints. They were just beat by a better team in convincing fashion. They had no business being on the field in the first 60 minutes. Other than that one Adeyemi half chance in the first half, it was all Man City. Really, shout out to Nico Gonzalez. He's had a really good couple weeks. Really good couple weeks. Highline for life, people. Remember, get that tattooed. Highline for life, people. I mean, there's stupidity, and then there's I don't know what's worse than stupidity. It's just the way Barcelona are defending right now. Let me actually check. When was the last time Barcelona kept a clean sheet? When was the last time Barcelona kept a clean sheet? Because I know it's been a little bit of a while since Barcelona have kept a clean sheet. Because these guys cannot do anything defensively. And that's not really down to the players. It's all down to Hansi Flick. So the last time Barcelona kept a clean sheet was September against Getafe. Since then, they have conceded 1 goal to Oviedo, 1 goal to Real Sociedad, 2 to PSG, 4 to Sevilla, 2 to Girona, 1 to Olympiacos, 2 to Real Madrid, 1 to Elche, and 3 to Club Brugge. This team cannot defend. And that's mostly down to Hansi Flick. But, you know, we can all say here as analysts, as pundits, but if Hansi Flick's not going to change the way his team wants to play, he'll keep doing the same thing. But eventually, Hansi Flick has to realize this team just needs to drop the line a little bit more, and they can still play their forward-thinking way, pressing high up the field. But you can just see this team tactically, just defensively. Nothing on the attack. Maybe you could say something about the midfield, but it's just defensively how this team are playing right now is so schoolboy-esque. So schoolboy-esque. We saw the blueprint with Sevilla. It only just took one season for all the teams around Europe to realize, oh, this team, as long as you have one creative midfielder like Unk Van Aken, who can just read the game really well, intelligent layoffs, and you have just a quick player like Forbes, oh, you can get in behind this Barcelona defense over and over and over and over again. You don't need to play spectacular football. You just need to play, as they say in England, Route 1 football against this Barcelona team, and they will concede because it's happened time and time again. But if Hansi Flick's not going to change it, they'll keep conceding, and it will be down to the attackers to try and outscore the opponents and trying to get Lamine Yamal to have an unbelievable game, which Lamine Yamal did. He had an unbelievable game, people, and yet it was still not enough. Look at that goal he scored. The combination play between him and Fermin, Fujibol. So, is it as simple? I'm clearly just talking about Barcelona right now. I'll get to Club Brugge because you guys know I love Club Brugge. Is this just the case of Hansi Flick needs to just drop the line more, or are there more concerning aspects about this team where the pressing is not working this season compared to last year? And I think that's down to Rafinha. Rafinha was so good. One play, and I said it when he left, is Inigo Martinez. Inigo Martinez was the leader in the defense. Who's the leader in this defense right now, people? Who? It's not Araujo, because clearly Hansi Flick doesn't trust him anymore. Inigo Martinez was a massive loss for this Barcelona team. Deco and his team just go find an experienced center back who has some experience playing the defensive high line. Sign him. You have to do it. You simply have to do it, because otherwise, this Barcelona team, while they're going to have chaotic game again and again and again, they have the potential to win the Champions League, but they need to fix this defense because they got still Rashford, they got Pedri, De Jong, Fermin Lopez has been playing unbelievable recently. Barcelona, they have the team. Tactically, though, they're not that team right now, and that's down to Hansi Flick. And now it's down to Hansi Flick realizing he needs to have an epiphany. Maybe he needs to take ayahuasca in Peru or something, because he needs to realize this high line needs to be stopped immediately. And if it doesn't, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for Barcelona. But Lamine Yamal was just, Lamine Yamal was insane yesterday, people. That's the Lamine Yamal we're talking about here. Where's the video? Oof. Here, this.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
I mean, the way he just kept taking on the defender and again and trying to combine the play. If it wasn't for Lamine, Barcelona losing this game 3-1, maybe even 4-1. They were just not good in the game. So yeah, kudos to Club Brugge. I say this over and over again. They've had a really tough schedule. Away to Atalanta, where they played a good game. Atalanta then, they won the game at the end with Basilic. They go away to Bayern Munich. I mean, there was nothing Club Brugge could really do in that game because we see how good Bayern Munich are. But they just they are such a good home team. That's why I said this is going to be a tough game for Barcelona. And it turned out that way exactly like I knew it would. Barcelona would struggle in moments. They would get caught out in behind by Club Brugge, who have just such an intelligent, creative midfielder like Van Aken. Unk ball is real, people. Unk ball is real. The Unkvolution is going on right now. I've said this over and over again with Van Aken. Most underrated player in Europe. Most underrated player. He's just so smart with his layoffs and reading of the game and just his overall technical skill. Look at his technical skill. Look at the volley he scored against Rangers. Come back to me and say, Michael, you know what? You're right. This Van Aken guy, special player. The only problem for Club Brugge is defensively, they were not great, but I mean, it's like Lamine Yamal. What are you supposed to do? What can you do? What can you do against Lamine Yamal? There's nothing you can do. Crazy deflection. I think it was off of Jolis for the third goal. And yeah, I mean, it's a good point for Club Brugge overall because it is Barcelona at the end of the day with amazing players they have. But they had the lead not once, not twice, 3 times, and they couldn't get the victory. That's going to sting a little bit, but shout out to Club Brugge. I just love this team. There's just something about the way they keep developing talents in their academy to the smart signings they make with the experienced players they have. I really just admire this Club Brugge team. And I think Barcelona fans were like, oof, our team's not that good. We got to really fix up defensively because, Forbes is a good player, right? Carlos Forbes is a good player. All he just needed to do yesterday was rely on his pace and just finish his chances. And he did that. So shout out to Forbes. And great because he had a disastrous time at Ajax. And disastrous time at Wolves last season. Club Brugge took a chance on the player. And look at what he's doing this season so far. He's been, I think, overall pretty good for Club Brugge. But, I mean, he was made to look like Messi yesterday because of Barcelona's poor defense. But I'm not going to go over the top and say Barcelona cannot win the UCL. I think they are still a top 3, top 4 favorite for the UCL. But they need to fix up quick. Otherwise, I think the players will be like, Hansi Flick, are you sure about this defensive high line? Can we stop with the madness? Please? Can we stop with the madness? Let's see if it does change. Only time will tell. Time will tell. Remember, people, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and get involved in the chat. We only got a couple more games to go through. As I'm going to quickly run through this game. As an Athletic Club fan, I watched the first 50 minutes and then I turned it off. I could not deal with the madness. I couldn't. Because all the players missing, Sunset injured, Williams injured, all the guys injured. I'm like, forget about it. And I knew, by the way, Dan Burns' header, the fact that he got that much curl on it is one of the most ridiculous goals I've ever seen. You have to go watch Dan Burns' goal, by the way, people. It was ridiculous. I mean, Newcastle, they played well. I think the club improved in the second half because then I rewatched the game this morning. I feel like the club kind of improved in the second half in the last 30 minutes when they got the new subs on. I just don't know why Valverde just keeps on going with this abysmal player like Unai Gomez up front. This guy is so terrible, man. He's so bad. It just irks me so much. But Newcastle deserved the victory. They created chances. They were more physical. I mean, Dan Burns, great goal. Joe Linton, again, a free header in the box. Good performance from Newcastle. They've got now 3 wins in a row. 4-0 over Royal Union. I think it was 3-0 over Benfica and 2-0 over Athletic Club. Good start for Newcastle. Let me just quickly check who they still have to play in the UCL this season. Where's that? There's Newcastle. Because they could be a dark horse team. I know their form in the Premier League has been pretty abysmal. I think they just lost to, who was it? Who did they just lose to? West Ham. They just lost to West Ham. So they're going to go away to Marseille. That's going to be tough for Newcastle. That's a good test. Away to Bayer Leverkusen. Then they got home PSV and away PSG. I think Newcastle can get victory over PSV and maybe a point away to either Bayer Leverkusen or away to Marseille. They're not getting a point away to PSG. I would be surprised by that one. So, yeah, I think Newcastle will get into the playoffs, but I'm a little bit worried about their league form. But clearly, like, the Champions League is their bread and butter this season for Newcastle, and they're thriving in it. I mean, Gordon, I think doesn't have a GA in 19 games in the Premier League. He's got goals and assists galore in the Champions League so far, and they just have that something about St. James's Park. It just really gets this team going. It really does, and Voltema, I still think it's going to be a really good signing. They need Visa back, though. I think they need sort of backup to help rotate with the Voltema, because the Ozula, he's a decent player, but they need rotation there. But yeah, shout out to Newcastle. Good, comfortable victory. They were not tested because Athletic Club are just abysmal right now. And that's coming from an Athletic Club fan. These guys are not good right now whatsoever. Big up, Barry. Big up for the kind of donation, bro. You didn't have to donate. Shout out to you, Barry, with the $5 Canadian. What's up, Mike? What's up, chat? Hopefully, Osimhen didn't use up all his goals last night. We all need him next week. Remember, people, if you haven't done so already, go check out my CAF World Cup qualifying prediction video for the playoffs. And, of course, we're going to be live for the Nigeria versus Gabon game. We're going to do a live watch-along, and it's going to be tense, bro. I cannot wait. International football next week is going to cook. Big up, Barry. Thank you for the kind donation, bro. Really, really appreciate it. This game, I did not even watch the highlights or the game, but Inter went 2-1. The fact that equalized the game 1-1 and Inter just barely won the game by one goal is a little bit worrying. I did see that it was a corner goal that Kairat scored from. Inter have not been the best defensive team in set pieces, which is something they need to improve on as they get further on into this season. But they got the victory. That's the most important thing. Inter are now flying in the UCL, as they always seem to do now with the league phase or in the group stage. Just keep on rolling. What? That's 4 wins. And who have they beaten? Which is not the strongest. Ajax away, Slavia at home, Rayon. Inter's next game is away to Atleti. Ooh. You know how they do in poems, in poetry? That's a good test right there. Inter away to Atleti. Let's see if Inter are really the real deal this season. But I think they've been actually quite good with Kivu. I got to give massive credit. But yesterday, it looked like they did struggle against Kairat, which you can't be doing. Great moment for Kairat. Getting a goal away in the San Siro. Oh, my God. The moment for the fans and the players, they must have been going crazy. Absolutely crazy. Bubble wrap and put them like in premium delivery service on UPS like airplane. Don't let them go commercial. Strictly UPS service. Osimhen better be healthy for those games. He better be. Oh, really? Big up, Doug. Thank you for the news. Did they really sack him? They sacked him, huh? Let me see. We'll get back to the other games. Let me just check. Is Johnny Heitinga? Yeah, Johnny Heitinga has been sacked. What a shock. I mean, it's not going to solve anything with Ajax. It's not going to solve anything. I'll tell you again. Or Colombia. I'll have to check it later, bro. I'll have to check it later. I don't know who they're playing. It is hard to draw conclusions on Inter. Their schedule has been sort of easy. Last season, they also did very well in the league phase and conceded almost no goals. Then their knockout defense was bad. Exactly. It's quite difficult to read them. But I think they still got to play Arsenal, Liverpool, and Atleti. Those are going to be the true test for this Inter team. The true test. Oh boy, Benfica. Oh, these guys, man. Oh, you're going to see in the standings what's happening. Did they play bad? No, I don't think Benfica played bad. It's just poor finishing. Really, poor finishing from Luca Bacchio to all these guys. They can't do anything right now in the Champions League. 4 losses for Benfica. 4! Have they even scored a goal? The only goals they've scored is home to Qarabag. Yeah. Tick-tock, Jose. Tick-tock. I just knew that hiring wasn't going to solve anything. Might do well for the league, but when it comes to the Champions League, this team just has no confidence about them. That's the word. There's no confidence with this Benfica team at the moment. Like, Bayer Leverkusen didn't play well. The only player I was like really highlighted by and really struck by was Massa, the 19-year-old Algerian. I think he was a beast on the day, absolute beast. But overall, like, Leverkusen didn't play amazing. Schick had to come off the bench and get the goal, and that was about it. I'm looking more at Benfica and saying, this is just a car crash. It's a car crash, people. What can you do if you're Jose? What can you do? Everything stems from Rui Costa trying to salvage his presidency. Were there the elections already? I don't know. I'm not too familiar. Yeah, it's just not looking good right now for Benfica. They got 4 losses. Samuel Dahl, again, just really, really poor on the day. He's a young Swedish left back, but you got to do better in those situations. You just got to do better. And yeah, it really just sucks for Benfica because I like the signings they make. I like a Luka Bacchio. I like an Enzo Barrenechea. I love Richard Rios. These are quality players. Surakov, baller. But they just need a complete reboot on this season. That's why I think if you're a Benfica fan, you just got to say, all right, this Champions League campaign, let's just forget about it. Let's just forget about it. Win the league, build some confidence, find a new manager, and go with a new identity with this Benfica team. Like Porto did. Porto had a terrible season last year. They bring in Farioli. They make smart signings. Look at them now. Look how Farioli and Porto are doing. I think Benfica just got to do the same thing, but I don't think they played terrible. I don't think you could really blame Jose yesterday. That's more on the players. That's more on Luka Bacchio. To Pavlidis was unbelievable last season. This season hasn't been the same guy. For Bayer Leverkusen, the fact you kept the clean sheet was amazing. 2, you didn't play well. 3, you didn't score a lot of goals like you've been doing recently in Bundesliga and Champions League. Get a victory. That's what you need. You just need to build a confidence if you're Leverkusen. Young side still. I think they got real quality. Bode, by the way. Loic Bode. This guy. Special defender, man. Special defender. Really good signing from Bayer Leverkusen perspective. But yeah, Portuguese teams right now are struggling big time. Then I think this is the last game. Yep, this is the last game. This was absolutely chaotic between Atalanta and Marseille. That's now 3 losses for Marseille in the Champions League this season. And Atalanta, first off, there was the whole bust-up between Lukman and Juric. I don't know if you guys have seen this, by the way. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. Because crazy sort of situation between Lukman and Juric. Here we go. Let me bring this up for everybody so you guys can see it. Right here. There. Crazy. Because I can kind of understand Anamol Lukman. Like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you acting all crazy? He got subbed off. I can't remember which minute was it. This was the game I had because some people told me, like, Michael, you got to rewatch the Marseille-Atalanta game. I rewatched it. Lukman came off in the 75th minute. He scored an offside goal, which I think was 2 passes before the offside, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, it would have been – because initially, I was like, wait, how is he offside? But then I think they showed a replay. It was from an action before. Atalanta can be counting their lucky stars because, yes, they played well, and yes, I think they deserved the victory because this guy, Kristovic, please just be consistent finisher. Please, you're a good player. Just be consistent. Ottoman Lukman laid it on a plate to him once or twice. No, twice, if I'm not mistaken, twice. He got the penalty from a Lukman assist or Lukman pass, which was a great pass from Lukman. But Kristovic needs to be more clinical. CDK missed a penalty. Then he gets to the second half and just takes Samardzic unbelievable golazo to win the game. And then all hell break loose when really, let's be honest here. If you didn't watch this game, I would go check out the highlights because Edison clearly handballs it. He clearly handballs it inside his own 18-yard box. And again, they didn't call the penalty. Play continues. Samardzic picks up the ball, finishes the top left corner. I think if you're a Marseille fan, you can talk about you got robbed, which, yes, I would say that was a clear handball. And why that wasn't a penalty for Marseille, I will never know. But again, Marseille, you played terrible. Atalanta should have won this game 3-1, 4-1. They should have. They absolutely cooked Marseille. They moved the ball well. Lukman looked really good. Even though he didn't get a goal, I think Ottoman Lukman looked really good. But, man, it's just that whole penalty situation, then this whole craziness with Juric and Lukman. I'm sorry. If a manager is doing this, I'm punching him up. I don't care. You cannot touch me like that. Grab me like this? Yeah, Ottoman Lukman's going to be pissed off he got subbed off. Wouldn't you, Juric? Wouldn't you? Yeah, you would be as well if you're Juric. I think this is just really a despicable way of handling a disgruntled player. Do the exact same as Xabi Alonso. Let the guy off. Let him, go crazy about getting subbed off. It's a natural thing sometimes. But don't initiate more frustration and more sort of publicity about yourself. Now look what Juric is doing. I would have the exact same reaction if I was Ademola Lookman. I would be pissed. I would really be pissed. For Marseille, really bad. You cannot lose this game at home, and you performed terribly. They were awful the game, Marseille. They had some half chances like Aubameyang, but overall, they were getting so easily cut up by Atalanta's passing, and it was not a good performance. One player I really have to highlight from this Atalanta team is the young center back, or young sort of left center back, left back. He can play as well. Ahanor. This kid's special, bro. This kid is special. I think they signed him from Genoa, if I'm not mistaken. Keep an eye on this player, man. Write it down. Michael Talks Football, 6th of November says, keep an eye on Ahanor. Baller, man. Absolute baller. Great victory for Atalanta. They needed this victory because now let us get to the standings. We're only 4 match days in, but chaos could ensue. In the next match day, this is going to be great. We have first versus second, Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. And we have 35th versus 36th, Benfica versus Ajax. We have like the Champions League favorites derby, and then just the toilet bowl derby between Benfica and Ajax. I mean, what's going on there? Biggest takeaway when I'm looking at the standings right now is Napoli need to improve, and the Premier League are dominating right now. 6 out of the top 12 are Premier League teams. And I don't think that's going to change a lot, people, when it comes to the final standings. Although I could see kind of Newcastle maybe regress. That's like the only team. Maybe Tottenham as well, because Tottenham have a quite difficult schedule to go with. But overall, Premier League are dominating. And the league that is really suffering for me is La Liga. Because Atletico, Villarreal, 27th and 32nd. Then you have Atleti, who are now 17th. Real Madrid, not a really convincing campaign so far. Barcelona are in 11th place. Yeah, La Liga are really, really struggling. So, and the biggest surprise is definitely Qarabag and Paphos being playoff teams at this moment in time. But there's still 4 match days to go. We're going to have a long break from the December to the January games. A lot can happen here, people. But after 4 match days, which team has surprised you the most and which team has been the most disappointing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about who is your favorite player this week. Which player surprised you? Which player had a stinker? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for more UCL content. We'll be back here in a couple of weeks. But we got a lot more videos coming out here on the channel. Mostly international football. I'll kind of do a grading system of every Champions League team's campaign so far. So stay tuned for that here on the channel. Follow me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter. Join the Discord. Discord next week is going to be hot, people. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.